Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Kira top. For materials, you're going to need swimwear fabric, elastic, a loop turner, pins or clips, and scissors or a rotary cutter and mat like I have. In this tutorial, you're going to need to use a straight stitch, so make sure that you have a regular sewing machine on hand as well as a serger. If you don't have a serger at all, then you can use a zigzag stitch wherever I'm using an overlock stitch. You will also need the PDF pattern for the Kira top, which will be linked in the description, or you can go to edgewateravenue.com. I'm going to be cutting on the fold today, so I only assembled half the pattern, but it is up to you whether you want to assemble the whole thing or just cut on the fold. The first step is cutting our pieces. First, we'll take our lining fabric, which is this green fabric, and I'm going to cut one of the front piece and one of the back piece. This pattern includes a 1/4 inch of seam allowance. This top is reversible, so if you use regular swimwear fabric for both the lining and the outer fabric, you'll be able to wear it two ways. Next, we're going to take this printed fabric and we're going to cut one of the front and one of the back as well. We're also going to cut a strap, which should be about 1 1/4 inch by 20 or so inches. More detailed strap recommendations are included in the pattern, but it's totally up to you to decide how long you'd like them to be, since it doesn't affect the sizing or anything. And you can make your strap in either of the fabrics or use a totally different fabric. Since the top is reversible, you'll probably want to choose one that goes well with both sides. Now match all of your pieces with right sides together, including the strap, which you'll match lengthwise. You're going to sew the strap in half, and you're also going to sew the neckline, bottom line, and armholes of both the front and back pieces. So you're sewing everything except the sides. I'm using a 4-thread overlock stitch with woolly nylon thread. Next, you're going to take either the front or back piece and turn it to the right side. It doesn't really matter which you choose, but know that the piece that remains inside out will eventually have a whole seam ripped in it. Usually I like to do the back piece since I can seam rip a hole where the tag usually goes, but with this pattern, since the front piece is substantially bigger, I decided to flip the back piece to the right side instead, since it makes it easier to insert inside for the next step. So once you've flipped one piece to the right side, you're going to insert it inside of the other, making sure right sides are together. So in this example, the green fabric should be facing each other and the printed fabric should be too. One by one, you're going to move the inside piece so it's lined up with both shoulder straps as well as both sides. Once you get it there, pin it down. If you're doing this correctly, you should be pinning 4 layers of fabric. Now you can sew both sides as well as both shoulder straps. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to be making a hole in order to get this top to the right side. So seam rip a 1 to 2 inch hole, secure it with a few stitches so it doesn't come unraveled, and then bring the entire top to the right side by pulling it through this hole. So there's a big detail missing, and that is the drawstring channels. We're going to mark where they will go and ultimately seam rip so we can string the strap we made all the way through. You could do this while the top is still inside out, but in order to make this easier to understand and see, I did decide to draw the channels and go back and seam rip instead of leaving the holes while sewing. So using my sewing marker, which is water and air soluble, I'm going to mark where I want my strap channels to be. Since my strap is going to be a 1/4 inch, I want my channels to be the same size. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle and then draw 2 lines on either side of this middle line. Each of the lines on the side will be a 1/4 inch out from the one in the middle. So in total, you should be drawing 3 lines. So now that I know where I'm sewing, I'm going to switch over to my regular sewing machine, and I'm going to use a straight stitch to sew along all 3 lines. Once that's done, I'm going to take my seam ripper and open up the channels on both the top and the bottom. So that completes the making of the channels. Now I'm going to take my loop turner and flip my strap to the right side. Using my loop turner again, I'm going to thread the strap through both of the channels. If you don't have a loop turner, you can use a safety pin, both for flipping the strap as well as stringing it through. Finally, finish off the hole we made when we flipped the top to the right side by using an invisible stitch or just a top stitch. And that completes the Kira top. Make sure to visit edgewateravenue.com to get the PDF pattern for the Kira top. Give it a try, it's a really great style, it can be adjustable, and it's fully reversible. Also follow Edgewater AVE on Instagram, subscribe to me on YouTube, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Different.